I think people fail to realize that you just need to start. It needs to exist for there to be progress. Mistakes are only bad if you don't learn from them. But let me do that one more time and learn from them. If you constantly think you're not good enough, you're never gonna be good enough. Oh my god, this needs to be good, this needs to be good. Just fucking do it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You might be like, wow, Via, where the fuck are you? Well, if you watch my main, you would know where I am. I'm in Korea right now. I'm actually in a Hanok. It's really nice. And you might be like, oh my god, you're recording a journal entry while you're traveling? Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. But apparently we should just do that because I'm honestly so spontaneous now. I bought this new friggin' journal. I finished my journal on my birthday, which was kind of crazy. There was only one page left. Like, talk about timing. So I bought this one just yesterday and I literally wrote a lot. This is all the notes I want to talk about today. And so the first topic I really want to talk about is perfectionism. So let's just get right into it. I feel like a lot of us, you want to do something, but it's very hard to start. I always say this, starting is the hardest part. And I always get comments where people are like, I want to post content, but I'm not good at this. I'm not good at that. I think people fail to realize that you just need to start. Starting is necessary. The first draft needs to exist. That is something just people forget. It's just, it needs to exist for there to be progress. So here are just some things I wrote down. I said that I think all of us have some tendency with like perfectionism. You want things to be a certain way. And I think that it's good to have standards, but I think that to a certain point, when you are inhibiting, like you're preventing yourself from taking action, that's when it becomes an issue. So I literally, my first sentence was how perfectionism creates failure. I really do think that when you are just so focused on being perfect, you don't really start. You delay your action of starting or creating any sort of progress. And I just think that perfectionism is a very impossible standard to hit. You're basically setting yourself up for failure if you put that as a standard. Yeah, so I wrote that if you want things to be the best of the best, you need to start because you're starting from disappointment. You'll only disappoint yourself if you expect the first result to hit all the standards. And something I said that is just, you need to accept things get better the more you do it. You need to sacrifice quality when you start. So something that I think, just this one sentence, I feel like people might be like, what the fuck do you mean? I thought it was one thing. You need to sacrifice quality. And this might be such a hot take and you might be like, what? Quantity over quality. Quality is super important. Let me explain. I think quality is very important. I think that you should always try your best. But sometimes it's like you give it your all, but it doesn't need to be super, super perfect. There's always room for improvement and trying again is always free. You can always fucking try again. And I think that when you are just so focused on creating the best of the best, you're not going to continue, you're not going to be consistent and you probably will get really burnt out and you'll probably start hating it and be like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, I feel like you're doing so more for the appearance than for your own well-being, like actually progressing, because perfectionism is very much appearance wise. You care about how other people think, how other people perceive you. You're like, oh my gosh, she failed. Can't believe her first try, she failed. You're so scared of other people judging you. And yes, maybe people are judging you, but it's necessary. You progressing is necessary to getting better. And so let me see what else I wrote. Yeah, I said that perfectionism will prevent you from doing anything. So I just really want to talk about why is perfectionism so bad. Number one, it paralyzes your action. Okay, this is what I wrote down. You constantly feel like you need to hit like a certain point. I need to feel ready. I need to be extremely skilled and I need to be super confident. And the thing is that there's no right timing in things. Maybe there is, maybe for some lucky a few people who are really lucky, but life is not like a fairy tale. You determine when you want to do something. And the more you delay your actions, you delay starting, you have so many missed opportunities because time is super important. The more you delay your action, the more you just opportunities come by. You're like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this because I'm not ready. Missed opportunity. You missed all the shots you don't take. Number two, you fear mistakes. When you want to become perfect, failure just becomes very unbearable. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe I failed. I can't believe I failed. Instead, you should be viewing mistakes as something very good because you can learn from your mistakes. Mistakes are needed to help you improve. You only get better by making mistakes and you're like, well, let me reiterate that. Let me retry that. Let me do that one more time and learn from them. Mistakes are only bad if you don't learn from them. Mistakes are necessary. You need to make mistakes in order to get better. That is just how it goes. You cannot go around that. You cannot be like, I'm gonna make no mistakes. It's not possible. Let me just tell you, it's not possible and you need to make the mistakes. You need to make the mistakes in order to get better at what you're doing. So stop fearing the mistakes because mistakes are not scary. They're just necessary steps. So if you constantly fear the mistake, you're never going to get where you want to be. And yeah, maybe someday you'll actually, no, I don't think that you can become perfect, but you'll become very, very good at what you're doing. You become very skilled at your craft, but you need to make the mistakes. You need to make the first draft. You need to start. The first draft, whatever the first you're doing, is necessary. Also, number three, I talked about it. You care about appearance and your actual progress. There's always that reputation where Asians tend to be like perfectionists. They want things to be like a certain way, especially in Asian culture. Family members are judging, they're talking, they're gossiping, so you care a lot about appearance. You care about how everything looks around you. Like, oh, about, am I looking perfect? Am I acting right? I even wrote down, you start overthinking and then you get burnt out and you quit. Sometimes we just can't think that much into it, which I know sounds like, what do you mean you don't think too much into it? But sometimes it's like, I think a healthy amount is good, but when you think a bit too much into it, you don't really act on it anymore because you keep thinking like, oh my God, this needs to be good, this needs to be good. Just fucking do it. And even for me, I realized that I tend to worry a lot when I'm not doing something. But when I'm in the action of doing it, I just tell myself that at least I'm doing it. Whatever this turns out, I'm gonna do it better next time. I'm just gonna learn whatever I have right now. I'm not gonna try to make this like the best of the best, but I just need to get it out, and then I can analyze how well I've done, because everything's in your head. How well can I execute what's in my head to reality? Like, I'm just gonna do it with muscle memory. I'm just gonna do it how I feel, like how natural I feel. I'm just gonna do it. And then once I did it, I'm like, okay, this is the outcome. It can't be saying I'm gonna do something, I have to actually do it. And once I do it, this is the outcome. We deal with the outcome. We don't deal with what's in our head. We deal with the actual outcome, no matter how shit it is. But now we can tell ourselves that this is what we created. This is actually what we created. This is the reality of things. And then we learn from this. We learn from the output, the product we do, not from what the fuck is in your head. Actually, you need to create it. And it's fine if it's bad. Like, for me, it's fine if it's bad. I'm just like, this actually exists. And now we take data. Now we learn from all the mistakes. And let's pick at it. Let's pick at it and see what we can do better. And the next round, it's going to be better than this one because we're analyzing this one. It's so important to have your output in front of you in order to get better. Because if you have no output, there's nothing you can do to make it better. It's all in your fucking head. It's not real. Okay, you need to make it real to make it better. And so, number 4, destroys motivation. Because when you want something that's just honestly a fantasy, you are just getting disappointed over and over again. When you set your standards super, super high, you will never feel like you've achieved anything. It's very difficult because, you want to constantly get better and better and better. You just have to like constantly push yourself. And I think that is good. But at the same time, I think it's important for you to have momentum. Like, you have to be acting. It's one thing to be like, I want to get better. But it's another thing is it's like, I want to get better. I'm never happy with this. And you stopped acting on it. That's when there's kind of like an issue. Like, there's issues for both. When you never feel a sense of achievement, like, yes, happiness, all of that. It's important to reflect on things and be like, okay, I actually did this. I'm proud of myself. But with perfectionism, sometimes you just don't act at all. And that's when there's an issue. You just feel like nothing will ever be enough. And then you just kind of stop because you're like, nothing will ever be enough. So why would I even do anything? And number 5, I wrote that it really disconnects you from reality because you have fantasy expectations. One of the things I wrote down was that you compare your progress to someone else's finished product, especially when you're just starting off something and you have like this like person that you look up to. You're like, I want to become like them. You're looking at someone's peak. You're looking at what someone wants you to see. You don't see what the things they did to become that. Everyone has progress. And I feel like we as a society, I just think that this should just be common knowledge, is that it takes time for someone to get there. It doesn't just happen. It takes time. It's just people don't talk about it because you don't know them. You didn't really have a one-to-one conversation with this person, so you don't know what it took for them to get there. So don't compare yourself to like someone's years of experience. And let's say that you guys both started at the same time, but you are still progressing. You're only going to get better and better and better. Yeah, so like I said, fantasy expectations, I also said that no matter how well you do, you always feel like a failure. And that's just, perfectionism. All you can really do every single day is just to be slightly better than the person you were yesterday. And I know that sounds so fucking corny and cheesy, but it's just the truth. And when you keep doing this, you're going to become to a certain point where you're like, wow, you might even become unrecognizable yourself. I even wrote down, the more you chase perfect, the less you do learn and evolve. And those are very necessary steps for you to become successful. And if you start disregarding those things to learn from your mistakes and to evolve, what you want is going to be a fantasy. You're never going to reach it. And so you might be like, yeah, how do I fix that? How do I fix perfectionism? How do I get out of this fucking rut? Well, I wrote down some stuff for you guys. Number 1, you need to replace perfection with progress. Because you would think that, if this is not perfect, then it's not worth doing. But instead you should think about, what can I learn from this? How can I get better from this? I wrote down, every version teaches you something. You need to view them as drafts. The first one needs to exist, and the first version isn't supposed to be perfect. And the thing is that progress compounds. You need to constantly just do it, and it just gets better. You need to constantly view everything as data. You need to be learning from something. Like I always say, try again. Hardworking doesn't guarantee success. Nothing is guaranteed in this lifetime, which is why not many people go for the things they want to go for. It just depends on how long you can last. If you can outlast your competition, you just need to last long enough. That's all there is to it. Sorry, I'm like constantly fixing the camera because low-key it's like pissing me off. You just need to last long enough to see the results. And not anyone can last long enough because it's like you're holding your breath underwater and you don't know when you can breathe. That sounds stupid, but it's just like, you just need to do it for long enough. People who succeed are the ones who every single time they try to do something, they look back on it and they reflect upon upon it. If you don't reflect upon the things you do, you're not going to get better. You can try again and try again and try again and constantly put in the hard work, but hard work alone isn't enough. You need to be smart about it. You need to be analytical about it. You need to view every single thing that you do as a data point, be like, what worked, what didn't, and we need to try again. You need to try again. So those people that you see are extremely successful, they have tried multiple times. It's just that they don't really tell you. For most people, it's like they analyze every single try, every single draft, they analyze it. What can be better, what worked, what not, but they always try again. And then it just becomes like muscle memory, you know, it just becomes like something that you just know what to do. You don't even have to really think about it. You just act upon it. And then you analyze certain things, like, I'm gonna do this next time. You do it again. So fuck perfection, literally. Number 2, I mentioned this, rebrand mistakes as data. First draft, we got the first draft. That didn't work. Now I know what I can adjust. And you need to view, instead of judging yourself, oh my God, like you're so bad at this. Like, how can you do this? You need to use it as curiosity. I wonder how this would work if I do this. I wonder how that would work if I just tweaked a little something. When you're curious about it, like I wonder, and you act upon it, it becomes reality. And here's your reality. Now you deal with this one. Yeah. And then when you think of it like that, when you use curiosity, you'll try again faster. You'll reiterate faster. Number 3 is very important, is that you need to add some self-compassion to your standards. You being compassionate to yourself doesn't mean that you're fucking soft. You know, it's just more like you recover faster, because the thing is that you're going to have up and downs. You're not always going to be happy with things, because that's just how fucking life works. And you have to add a certain level of kindness to yourself. If you're not kind to yourself, you're not going to recover fast. And then you just get burnt out and you quit. Because the thing is that you need to expect yourself to grow as a person. You cannot expect yourself to be a flawless person. You can't be flawless. It's just not possible. As long as you grow, I think that's better. Number 4, you need to focus on consistency, not intensity. You need to just make sure like you do a little bit every day. I think doing a little bit every day is better than having like a random spontaneous burst of energy, because when the fuck do you know the next burst of energy is gonna come? I think it's better for you to be consistent and do a little bit at a time. Perfectionism is more so you think it's like either all or nothing. I do it flawlessly or I don't do it at all. But another mindset that you should have is like consistency, which is that it's okay to show up messy. As long as I show up, it's okay. You can't view things as all or nothing, because that's a very scary mindset. It's a very toxic mindset. What if I just give a little bit every single day? You know, I just try again a little bit, and it compounds. Like I always say. Oh yeah, I even wrote down momentum beats, what did I say? Mastery? I think that's what I wrote. And then number 5, I think perfectionism comes from the point that I need to constantly be proving to others. But you need to change that mindset from like proving to others to just, you just want to improve. You just need to improve as a person yourself. You don't need to be proving to anyone, proving to your peers, families, friends, like, I can do this. Because when you constantly think about others, you're trying to control other people's perception of you, that gets exhausting and you can get burnt out. Let's not control what we can't control. When you're chasing perfectionism, like this needs to be perfect, like I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, you're never going to start. And that's from what I've heard. People are like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm not good enough at that. I'm not going to do. It's a different thing for you to be logical about this. Let's say that you want to, I don't know, open your own cafe shop. You're like, oh, I need to wait for like I get enough money, like savings, and how I want to do the interior design. Like that's different. Sometimes it's just like timing. You do need to like collect certain experiences. You need to save up logic wise, right? But if it's something where it's like a lot of you guys are like vlogging, I want to vlog, I want to make vlogs. That itself is like you have to save up. Yes, buy a camera, make sure it doesn't break the bank, get your editing software, all that, and start making it. It just depends on like, you need to weigh the costs of things. So don't let perfectionism hold you back. Like, I need this to be the best of the best, because most of the time you're just going to be wasting time and never even going to do anything. And you're just going to constantly be waiting and just be, I'm not good enough. If you constantly think you're not good enough, you're never going to be good enough. You have to just accept that you're not good enough right now, but you're going to get better and better, and you just have to keep going. And maybe sometimes when you get to a certain point, maybe 1 year from now, you might even look back on it and just be like, wow, I really came here. And maybe at that moment, you might not even realize how far you came. But the thing is that things compound. A year is a long time. A day is a long time. You can accomplish so much. Just 24 hours, babe. 24 hours, there's so much time. Every single second, every single minute, you can do something. Just time is so valuable. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video because we want things to be the best. You want to be like suitable to do whatever the heck you're doing. So you wait. Don't wait. Just do it. Acting is the first hardest part, and people might find you cringe. People might judge you because, you know, they're just projecting, because they themselves wouldn't do it when they're not feeling qualified. But that's the most important thing. I think most people who do things like whatever the fuck they're doing, it's like they never start off qualified. Because if you feel like you're qualified and you're starting a little too late. You got to start when you're like, you know, when you're not qualified, and just slowly get better. But yeah, I just want to make this journal entry to encourage some of you guys to throw away the perfection mindset and just start. So anyways, I hope this helped you guys. I will see you guys all very, very soon, okay? Have an amazing rest of your week.